fifth graders, it's Miss Kavatana, and I'm going to be doing a read aloud today for Morning on the Lake. So Morning on the Lake is about a boy and his grandfather who experience their Ojibwe traditions as they spend the day in nature visiting ancestral places, a lake, a forest, and some cliffs. The boy emulates and tries to please his grandfather, even facing down some wolves in the woods at night. So you'll find out more about the grandfather and the grandson and what their relationship is like and how he kind of wants to be like his grandfather. So let's begin. This is Morning on the Lake, written by Jan Bordeaux-Waboose, illustrated by Karen Reskuch. Morning. Morning is calling. It is time. I hear my grandfather's slow, quiet voice in the distance. There is no need for him to say it again. I jump out of bed, rub the sleep from my eyes, and pull on my t-shirt and pants. As I run to the lake where he stands, waiting, I see his large silhouette against the pink morning sky. He is staring out at the cool, calm water. Morning mist looks like a gray blanket covering the lake. The sun is a big orange ball hiding behind the trees. I imagine it is being pulled up by spider strings. I am ready, Mishamis. I yawn between the words and cover my mouth with my hand. I must be wide awake this morning. Grandfather turns to me and smiles. He is wearing his favorite old straw hat. It has the feather of a hawk stuck in his band. I found it for him when we were walking through the bush. On his feet are moccasins, plain moccasins, no beads, no fur, no quills. He made them himself from moose hide. He made me a pair too, just like his. Grandfather looks down at my feet, so I look down. I wiggle my bare toes. Grandfather slowly shakes his head from side to side. Then he grins. I grin too. Come, Notion, he says in his gentle voice. He motions to the water's edge. His birch bark canoe is waiting there for us. Long ago, when I was little, I watched Grandfather make his canoe. He told me that when I was bigger, I would make one just like his. I will too. Grandfather stretches out his steady, strong arm. I hold onto it and climb into the canoe. It feels wobbly, so I sit very still. We begin to drift away from shore. Because I am looking at the front, I cannot see my grandfather's face. But I know he is smiling. I hear the dip of his paddle on the water and imagine many tiny bubbles trailing behind us on the glassy surface. I watch my reflection on the water as we glide. It is still early in the morning. There is no wind and it feels cool and damp. Everything is silent except for the sound of the paddle. Grandfather stops the canoe in the center of the lake. He does not speak. This is his special place. Morning is his favorite time, and so it is mine. So stopping right there, what details so far give us hints about the boy's Notion and with relationship with his grandfather? What do you think so far? We wait, we listen, we peer into the thin vapors lifting from the lake. It is so very quiet that I am afraid to breathe, for I do not want to disturb the tranquil wilderness that encircles us. Then we hear it, a low, mellow, haunting hoot across the water. Then another call and another. I shiver, but I am not cold. Mishamis, did you hear that? I try to whisper, but I am not quiet enough. I see Grandfather raise his finger to his lips and point. And I know I must not speak again, but I cannot hold back my gasp. There in front of us are 4 loons, a father and a mother with 2 fluffy gray babies on her back. The male loons move closer to the canoe. He is not afraid. I wonder if I should be. I can see the loon's white striped necklace. His shiny black back is decorated with white squares and dots. The loon is looking straight at Grandfather with his small red eyes. He stretches his silken neck up and then strikes his strong wings on the surface of the water. I feel the spray wet my shirt. I do not move as I watch the loon circle our canoe in a dance. Then, giving a sudden wild yodel, he dives with a powerful force. My heart is pounding. I want to speak, but I dare not. I know the loon has reminded us the northern lake is his home. Grandfather has told me our ancestors have given our many people stories of the great loon. This morning on the lake is our story. I squint to catch a glimpse of the family, but they have vanished, gone, as quickly as they appeared. Why do you think the author mentions stories of the great loon? What do you think the connection is there? Just want you to sit and think about that. Why would they mention stories of the great loon? The morning is no longer serene and still. Birds chirp their morning songs across the lake. I sense the animals stirring on the shore. The mist is gone. The sun, full and warm, shines bright above the trees. The wind ripples the water. The leaves sway gently in the scented breeze. I feel that it would be all right to speak now, but I have silence on my tongue. No sound comes from the back of the canoe. I turn around to see Grandfather. He is smiling. I glance at my own reflection on the water, and I am smiling too, just like Grandfather. Noon. Grandfather is looking up. I know that he is searching the sky. Grandfather is wise and knows many things. He says I will too. When, Mishomis, I ask. In time, he answers. Wisdom will come. I stand beside Grandfather. I look up and search too. The sun is low on the horizon. I feel the wind's wings warm and on my legs. Grandfather speaks softly. It is time. We will go. I want to jump up and down and make a lot of noise, but I do not. For where we are going, only silence is needed. We leave before the sun climbs to the center of the sky. I follow Grandfather like a shadow. Quietly, quickly, he moves like a fox over the familiar path of the forest floor. I know that many animals have made this trail as they walked beneath the ancient white pines that whisper and past the singing water of the river. But I don't see any of them today. Only Grandfather ahead of me. I try to stay close behind, but it is not easy keeping up with his strong, silent strides. I stop a moment to taste the plump purple berry from a Saskatoon bush, then hurry on. So in this part of the book, the grandfather and the grandson, they're both very quiet. Think about the emphasis on being silent. Why do you think the author has the two characters be extremely silent in this moment? I am hot and thirsty. There are beads of sweat on my nose. I am getting tired, but I do not slow down. Finally, Grandfather stops. We are almost there. Almost. He turns to me and smiles. You travel swiftly with soft steps. That is good. Now you must show strength as well. He points to a rocky cliff, then tousles my hair with his long fingers. His dark brown eyes are bright and catch the sun's reflection. Are you ready, Notion? I wipe the sweat from my nose, take a deep breath, and nod. I am, Mishomis. Before we begin our climb, I watch my grandfather's strong brown arms reach out and spread open to the turquoise sky. So I too stretch my arms high. Grandfather looks at me and nods. As I climb, I can feel each rough groove etched in the face of the cliff. Its surface is hot and dry under my sweaty palms. My fingers are red and tingling, and I feel the hard ridges of rock pressing against my bare knees. The cliff is steep, so I avoid looking down. Although I am not afraid, I am tiring. I keep up with Grandfather, but my legs feel as heavy as rocks. I cannot let this slow me, for I know that many ancestors have climbed here before me, and before Grandfather too. I imagine each foothold formed through time by their steps. So, during this part, the grandfather reaches out to the sky, stretching his hands out. And Notion does the same. Can you relate this to a pattern for the whole story? Has Notion been doing similar things that his grandfather has been doing throughout the book? And what do you think this pattern is showing? What do you think the author is trying to tell us when they talk about Notion's behavior and how it mimics or copies Mishomis? Finally, we reach the top. The sun is high. It is very quiet and still. I can look back now, but as I turn, I notice a large shadow cast down on the ground. I quickly look up but cannot see what has made the shadow. Instead, I see thin birch trees waving in the soft breeze. It is strange because I cannot hear leaves rustling. Neither can I feel the wind cooling my skin or smell the dry moss under my moccasins. Up here, I stand closer to the noon sun, yet I do not feel the heat, nor do I have to shield my eyes from its brightness. Grandfather sits down and motions for me to sit beside him. I do. He does not speak, neither will I. This is his special place. Noon is his favorite time, and so it is mine. We look out past the fast-flowing river and the thick green forest below. I can see with bird's eyes. I feel that I am soaring, touching the endless sky, floating through powder white clouds, flying free high above our world. Very still, we wait, perched on top of our rocky nest. I can hear my own breathing. It's loud. I cannot hear Grandfather's. I wonder if he's holding his breath. I want to look at him, take one quick peek. But then, I see a powerful bird in slow motion, alone and gliding. In silence, he moves with smooth, graceful strokes. Around and around, he circles us with wings reaching like mother's arms. Motionless, we watch. The great eagle. Suddenly, the eagle is looking at me. He is coming in my direction. Faster and closer he flies. I do not move. Not one part of my body. Oh, how I want to hold on to Grandfather, but I do not. My heart is pounding like the beat of a drum. And then the eagle swoops down. I can hear the rapid rhythm of strong wings. I want to squeeze my eyes shut, but I keep them open, watching. He is here. His scent fills my nostrils. I feel talons combing through my hair with a gentleness I cannot explain. Then he is gone, as swiftly as he appeared. I let out a long breath, and I look at Grandfather. He is smiling a very big smile. He points to the ground. There before us lies a long, soft eagle feather. I feel Grandfather's warm, strong hands holding my shoulders as he speaks. Notion, our people see the eagle as a powerful messenger. His presence is a sign of honor and wisdom, as the great eagle is a proud protector of our people. I am proud, Moshemis, of my Notion. And so, I am proud too, just like Grandfather. So what are your thoughts about what just happened with the eagle? So the great eagle swoops down and pays a visit to Noshin, and Mishumis. What do you think the significance of that was? Night. It is late, but I am not tired. Not tonight. The bright moon is a huge pearled shell hanging in the sky. A million stars like tiny fireflies light its way. It is quiet. I point my chin up as far as I can, and I howl at the moon. Ah-woo! The sound echoes back. Eyes wide, I scan the sky in 4 directions. The warm evening breeze brushes my face like a moth's wings. It plays with my hair. As I walk, I feel the sweet grass sweeping against my legs. My nostrils fill with its sweet odor. It is the same smell of the sweet grass basket Grandfather had made for me. I shall make one too one day, but not tonight. Grandfather's voice breaks the silence. Have you found it yet? Yes, I see it there. My arm shoots up, pointing high. Grandfather chuckles. Noshin, your finger could be pointing to 1,000 stars, but there is only one North Star. When you spot the Big Dipper, you'll always find the North Star. Remember this when you are in the woods. We cross the open field and stand at the door of the forest. The tall, dark shadows of pines against the night sky look like animal shapes to me. I have waited a long time for this. I have been in the bush with Grandfather many times, but not at night. I know that this is his special place. Night is his favorite time, and so it is mine. Grandfather told me that I must have the night eyes of an owl, a nose as keen as a bear's, and ears as sharp as a wolf's. I do. I am ready. I can barely see his dark shadow entering the woods. Quickly, I follow. I feel a strange chill beneath my jacket, but it is not cold. The air in the forest is damp and smells of cedar roots, spruce needles, and fishing worms. The thick arms of the huge trees block out the moonlight. I try to use my owl eyes, but they are not working very well. I feel the forest floor with my moccasins and lift my feet high with each step so I will not stumble over fallen branches. I cannot hold my silence and excitement anymore. Mishumis, I whisper. When will we see the night animals? Where are they? He does not stop to answer, and his shadow in front of me moves quickly. I imagine that Grandfather is a bear or a moose traveling these woods in the dark. Yet he moves too swiftly and silently for either of these large animals. I quicken my pace and follow close behind him. Suddenly, a bone-chilling howl pierces the silence. Ah-woo! There are 2 yellow eyes staring, looking right at me. I hear the heavy panting of this night animal. I am trembling. I try to turn in Grandfather's direction, but cannot. My moccasins stick to the earth's floor like tree sap. They will not move. My arms feel pinned to my sides, but my owl eyes clearly see large yellow teeth, and I can smell stale breath. I want to shout, I don't want to be here, but the words are not there. Neither is Grandfather, so I speak without sound. Mishumis, where are you? Can you not see me? Do you not hear this night animal? Mishumis, where are you? Then I hear a low, familiar voice. Noshin, do not move. Stay very still. The wolves will not harm you. Wolves? I can't believe my ears. Is this really happening? Be brave. Show no fear. They mean you no harm. Stand very tall and straight and do not turn your back to them. I can hardly hear Grandfather speaking. I try to be brave. Slowly pulling my shoulders back, I stretch my body as tall as I can. My eyes widen. There in front of me are several shaded figures, all with yellow eyes and yellow teeth staring at me. A pack of timber wolves. Their leader is still and erect, ears pricked forward, tail and head held high. So, I felt a lot of tension in this section of the story. How do you think the author made me feel that way? What do you think the author said or included that caused tension? I wish with all my might, go away, please go away. It seems that a long time has passed. The wolves have not moved, and neither have I. Just as I am sure that my body will shake, the leader slowly, silently backs up. He holds his silver-furred throat high and gives one quick, eerie howl at the moon. As quickly as they appeared, they are gone, hidden by the cloak of the shadowy woods. I can hear myself panting. I cannot stand up another moment, and then I feel grandfather's strong arms around me, holding me tight. They are warm and comforting. I am safe here. I hear grandfather's soothing voice. My brave notion, you are strong and growing wise. Do not fear, but respect the wolves. They are like our ancestors, moving freely about the land with their families. The wolves have welcomed you, for you are a night animal in these woods. So what do you think Notion learned from his grandfather in these in the 3 scenes, morning, noon, and night? There are 3 sections in the book that it's split up into. And what are the 3, not necessarily 3, but what are some things that he has learned during these 3 moments with his grandfather? I can barely keep my eyes open as I climb onto grandfather's back for the walk out of the forest. He moves as though I am not heavy, yet I know I must be. Mishamus, I yawn. Can we come back tomorrow night? I hear his chuckle trail across the open field of sweet grass. And that is the end of our book, and that is the ending picture. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our read aloud of Morning on the Lake by Jan Bourdieu-Wabus. I really like this story, and it really goes along with our theme with this set of books, which was family. And you could see that the grandson and the grandfather really had that strong bond and relationship, and reflected our concept of family.